What if, from the moment you were born, an invisible cloak had been placed on you, guiding every step, protecting from dangers you didn't even see? What if this protection was not the result of chance, but part of a divine plan that Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet, had revealed decades ago? Imagine discovering that your zodiac sign carries a secret code, inscribed not only to the stars, but in the essence of your soul. A code that determines how you face trials, how it attracts blessings, and even how it escapes spiritual traps. Perhaps you have already felt this on the skin. Strange coincidences, vivid dreams, confirming spells, the feeling that something or someone intervenes in the decisive moments. This is not simple luck. Cayce claimed that some signs are born with special protection gifts, and that these skills often manifest in subtle signs that few can interpret. Throughout history, these protected have been seen as guardians, messengers, even curators, but also carry a weight. Understanding and using this force requires more than courage. It requires conscience. You can be one of them, and may not even know. Today, we will dive deep into the 3 most kept secrets of this spiritual protection, and how each sign connects to it. It doesn't matter if you believe you've lived something like this or if you are listening to it for the first time. What comes next can ever change the way you look at your own destination. Before we follow, I want you to think, when was the last time you felt that something bigger saved you from a difficult situation? Because understanding this answer can be the key to recognizing your place in this revelation that Cayce left for us. If, while listening to these words, something inside you woke up, a shiver, a memory, or even the feeling that you are finally understanding signals that once seemed just coincidences. So this video is not just any content, it's a call. Edgar Cayce said that when a message finds the right heart, it lights a light that never goes out again. And that's exactly what I want to happen to you now. Therefore, before we follow the revelation of the 3 secrets of the protected soul, I want you to do something simple but powerful. Write your sign in the comments. Don't think about it just as an interaction. See how a symbolic act, a code that connects to others who also carry this spiritual brand. When you share, you strengthen this invisible protection network that Cayce described, and helps this message reach more souls than you need it. And since we're together on this journey, remember to leave your like right now. It's not just to help the channel. It's a gesture that shows the universe that you are open to receive and understand what comes next. Also, subscribe and activate the bell, because next revelations can arrive just the moment you need it most. What I will show you in the next parts is not information you find out there. It is knowledge that has crossed time, protected as a treasure, and that today comes to you for a reason. Then take a deep breath, connect, and prepare, because we are about to open the first door that reveals how your sign can carry one of the greatest spiritual protections ever recorded. Today, you will discover the 3 secrets of the protected soul that each sign carries, and understanding why some are born with such strong protection that even the darker forces can break. And when I say dark forces, I don't just talk about dangerous situations that you can see or feel physically, but of invisible influences, hidden energies that move silently, trying to change the course of your life. Edgar Cayce said that the map of his birth is like a spiritual contract, an invisible document that carries specific protection codes, challenges, and mission. Some signs have such powerful spiritual signature that even events that could be fatal are deflected, impossible coincidences happen, and doors that seemed locked open at the exact moment. You may have already realized this without understanding why. That trip that you canceled last minute and then found that something serious happened at the scene. The call that arrived minutes before you made a wrong decision. The unexpected encounter with someone who completely changed his destination. These are not simple chances. They can be manifestations of the protection that Cayce described. And the most fascinating is that this protection does not act the same way for everyone. Each sign has its particular way of feeling, perceiving, and answering it. Some feel like a strong feeling, a cold in the spine that warns not to move on. Others receive messages through dreams, repeated symbols, patterns that arise before the eyes, and when deciphered, reveal a safe way. And behind this is a network of spiritual connections that unites these protected souls. They may not know each other in person, may be scattered around the world, but they share similar signs and sensations. Cayce stated that often when one of these souls sends a warning or protection thought, Another, miles away, receives it as a sudden intuition. It is as if each were a point of light connected to others, forming a living constellation that acts silently to maintain balance. Imagine now that while you hear these words, these codes are already acting in your life. Perhaps even the fact that you found this video is part of this invisible mechanism. Think, why did you click here today? Why did the title get your attention so much? Is it because you already suspect deep down there is something special following you? Many people spend their entire lives without realizing the signs, but when they understand, everything changes. And when we talk about the 3 secrets of the protected soul, we are going far beyond simple astrological predictions. We are entering the territory where astrology, spirituality, and destiny are found. Here, signs are not just personality symbols, but portals that reveal ancestral forces that come from long before your birth in this life, forces that carry spiritual memories, contracts, and covenants that can extend for centuries. Some of these secrets concern your ability to resist negative influences, others, how you attract help at critical times, and others to the ability to turn negative energy into something that strengthens you and those around you. And this is something that most people do not know. Spiritual protection does not mean absence of problems, but the presence of invisible resources to overcome them. And when Cayce spoke of these features, he described not only gifts and talents, but also symbols, patterns, and repetitive experiences that, when understood, become powerful tools to cross any storm. The most impressive is that by recognizing these secrets in your sign, you not only understand yourself better, but also begins to attract more of this energy to your life. It is as if the act of recognizing and accepting this protection opened an even stronger channel with the forces that accompany you. This explains why, when you deepen this kind of knowledge, you begin to notice more frequent coincidences, lighter dreams, and even a greater sense of security, even in difficult times. Now, I want you to allow yourself to imagine what it would be like to live fully conscious of this protection. How would you feel to know, really, that there is something taking care of you all the time, that each step is somehow supported by a greater purpose? As we reflect on this, I want you to keep it in your heart and mind, every word of what we will reveal below. Because these 3 secrets are not just information, they are keys that can unlock doors that you didn't even know existed. And since we're talking about something so deep and personal, I really want you to actively participate in this conversation. At the end of this video, I will ask you to leave your sign in the comments along with a special word, and that word will create a connection between all that are part of this invisible network. So keep with me until the last second, because with each revelation, you will understand that none of this is happening by chance, and that the simple act of being here can now be the first sign that you are also one of those protected souls that Cayce said. If you have gotten here, it is no coincidence. You may not even notice, but the simple act of watching this video is already part of something much bigger, something that goes beyond information and curiosity. Edgar Cayce said there are meetings that cannot be explained only by logic. They are alignments, invisible connections, subtle forces that bring right people closer at the exact moment. What if today, right now, are you living one of these moments? If your presence here is a clear sign that there is a message waiting to be received by you. Now imagine the power of thousands of people connected by the same energy, each carrying in their hearts and soul the symbol of their sign, this unique mark that defines not only their personality but also their spiritual role. This is why I want, when the time comes, you write your sign in the comments, not like who fills a poll or participates in a game, but as who sends a message to the universe stating, I recognize who I am and accept the protection that accompanies me. When we do this, we are not just strengthening the video or helping the algorithm. We are creating a vibrational field that unites people from different places, ages, and stories, all touched by me, SMA revelation. Think for a moment. How many times have you felt something strange, an internal alert, an impossible feeling to ignore? How many times has your life have taken a different course after a seemingly small event? But looking back, do you realize it has changed everything? These moments are clues, fragments of the spiritual code that is recorded in you. And when we share our signs and experiences, we are, without realizing it, revealing parts of this code and connecting it to others that also carry the protection mark. I know some people will hear this and think it's just symbolic. It has no real effect. But I also know that those who have lived impossible coincidences, who has already felt an inexplicable force to intervene in their favor, will understand exactly what I am saying. That's why I want you to stay with me with an open mind, because what comes next will further deepen this sense of belonging. With each word, you will recognize yourself in signs and stories that you may have kept silent for years. And remember, each sign has its own way of carrying and expressing this protection. Some receive warnings such as dream images in dreams. Others realize how sudden changes in the environment, that feeling that something is not right before a real danger happens. There are those who feel like an inner force that arises out of nowhere in times of crisis, almost superhuman courage that prevents the worst. All this is part of what Cayce described as the protection field of the chosen souls, and each time you recognize and value these signs, you further strengthen this energy in your life. So when I ask you to leave your sign in the comments, understand that it is much more than a common gesture. It is like lighting a light in immensity, a headlight that sends a clear signal to all others who also walk under that same protection. And to make this connection even stronger, I will propose that along with your sign, you write a specific word that we will reveal at the right time, so that everyone who is part of this movement knows that they are united by the same intention. Stay with me, because we are only at the beginning. What we will reveal in the next few minutes will not only name these 3 secrets of the protected soul, but also show how they manifest in each sign and why some of us seem to escape, by a thread, situations that could change everything. And when this part comes, I want to see this network grow before my eyes, with each comment being more than letters on a screen, being a visible link from an invisible chain that Cayce believed to be one of the greatest spiritual mysteries that exist. Maybe at some point in your life you have already stopped and thought, why did it happen to me like that? Why did I feel it before it even happened? It may have been that dream so real that you woke up with a rapid heart, and days later you realized that it was somehow linked to a concrete event. It may have been that strange déjà vu, that feeling of having already lived exactly that scene, with those people, in the same place. Or perhaps, a sudden shiver that came out of nowhere, seconds before something unexpected happens. These experiences, which many ignore as coincidences, can actually be clear signs that there is force majeure taking care of you. Edgar Cayce said that life is full of disguised messages, and that only those who pay real attention can decipher them. The repeated numbers that appear constantly before your eyes, on the clock, in car plates, in receipts, are not simple random repetitions. They are codes, reminds that something or someone is aligning their way. And when it repeats so many times that you get your attention, it is because the universe is trying to talk to you in a way that cannot be ignored. Perhaps you have also experienced times when you narrowly escaped a situation that could have dramatically changed your life. A delay that on time annoyed you, but then you found that you prevented you from being in a wrong place at the wrong time. A sudden change of plans that led you to know someone essential for your journey. These are signs of what Cayce described as invisible protection. Something that is not seen but feels, that acts behind the scenes, adjusting events so that you are exactly where you need to be. And each sign of the zodiac, according to Cayce, has its own way of receiving these warnings. Some have sharp intuition like a blade, realizing it immediately when something is not right. Others receive messages in symbolic dreams, full of images and feelings that carry valuable clues. There are also those who feel this protection as a presence, a calm energy that approaches in the most turbulent moments, bringing clarvăzători and strength. The important thing is to understand that none of this is accidental. It is part of a larger system, a spiritual design, that has begun long before your birth and continues to unfold now as you hear those words. When you start paying attention to these signs, something changes inside you. Suddenly, the small coincidences are no longer small. You realize that everything is connected, that people, places, and moments come almost magic, just when you need it. It is as if life became a great board, and with each invisible movement you were taken closer to your true purpose. And that's exactly what Cayce talked about when he mentioned protected souls, people who not only live life but who walk through it guided by something larger, a set of forces that work in silence to maintain their safe essence. While listening, you may be remembering situations like this in your own life, moments that, if they were different, might have taken you to a completely opposite path. And I want you to know that this is not common for everyone. Some people don't have such a clear connection with these signs, but you, if you are here, probably have. Perhaps that is why certain words cause you goosebumps, that certain stories arouse memories that you didn't even know you had. This is more indicative that this energy is present and active in your life, and there is something powerful that happens when you recognize this presence. It is as if the simple act of perceiving and valuing these signs further amplify their strength. You start to get messages more often, to interpret more clearly, and to feel an increasingly evident alignment between what you think, what you feel, and what happens. This tune not only protects but also opens ways, attracts opportunities, and strengthens ties with people who are part of the same spiritual circle as you. So before we reveal what are the 3 secrets of the protected soul that Cayce described, I want you to allow yourself to feel it all. Think of your own signs, when something or someone intervened for your good, even if you only realized long later. Think of times when a number, word, song, or dream seemed to bring you a direct message, and keep these memories because they will help you understand, even more deeply, what we will unravel below. At the right time, I want you to share your sign in the comments, and also a word that we will use to recognize everyone who is part of this network of protected souls. This word will be our link, the way of identifying who heard, understood, and accepted this connection. But let's leave this for the right time, because now is the time to open the first of the doors Cayce left, to understand the invisible strength that accompanies us since the beginning of our existence. Now that you have understood how to recognize the signs and importance of this invisible protection network, it is time to dive into the heart of this revelation. Edgar Cayce stated that some signs carry such old and deep gifts that they transcend the common explanation of astrology. They are not only personality traits, but spiritual forces that shape destinations, alter events, and support those who have them at critical times. These gifts do not come weightless, which is why understanding each of them is essential for those who want to live fully aligned with their spiritual mission. Cayce's first group described is formed by those who have the gift of early perception, the ability to feel almost supernaturally when something is about to happen. Here, a sign stands out: Scorpio, the guardian of the shadows. He carries the ability to see dangers even before they manifest themselves, as if their own time whispered secrets. This view is not just an instinct, it is a tuned spiritual radar, an invisible compass that points to the safe ways and alerts over hidden traps. But this gift has a high price, the emotional weight of feeling the approaching pains and tragedies, even when they cannot prevent them from happening. It's like being a lone headlight on a stormy night, illuminates the way to others, but walks alone in the dark. The second secret is the gift of silent intercession, which acts as an energy shield that can repel negative forces and even change the course of events. Here, Virgin, the silent healer, plays a special role. With its unique connection to order and purity, Virgo channels an energy that organizes chaos and neutralizes invisible threats. Often, without realizing it, its simple presence in an environment alters vibration, calming conflicts and dissolving tensions. It is as if it carries a protective field around itself which extends to those nearby. The challenge, however, it is not being lost in the weight of responsibilities and the constant need to fix what is broken, as this can drain your strength if you do not learn to preserve your own energy. The third secret belongs to those who keep the gift of transmutation, the ability to transform negative energy into life force. And this is where Lion, the guardian of the flame, shines. Leo has a direct connection with courage and confidence, but his true spiritual protection lies in the ability to absorb dense vibrations and return them as light. In crisis situations, it is the sign that rises with a force that inspires and renews all around. However, carrying this fire also means facing intense trials, for it is in the heat of battles that the gift of Lion is tested. He needs to learn not to burn with his own flame, balancing bravery and care. These 3 gifts, early perception, silent intercession, and transmutation, form a triangle of forces that, according to Cayce, acts as one of the pillars of spiritual protection on Earth. And when these energies meet, whether in a friendship, a family, or a group, they create a barrier so solid that nothing negative can cross. This union is not common, which is why recognizing when these signs are present in your life is so important. They do not appear by chance, and often cross your way just when you need help or protection. You may have realized that you have one of these signs in your nearby circle, or maybe you are one of them. Reflect on the times when you felt that someone was there for you at the exact moment, without you having asked, or when a friend, partner, or family member came with a word or gesture that completely changed the course of a difficult day. This is not just empathy or luck. It is a manifestation of spiritual gifts that Cayce claimed to be rare and precious. And there is something deeper yet. These qualities are not unique to those born under these signs. In some cases, the energy of a sign can be awakened in anyone, depending on the experiences it lives and the connections it creates. This is why, by understanding these secrets, you not only identify who the guardians are around you, but it also begins to realize how you can develop and strengthen this kind of protection yourself. As we talk about it, I want you to observe if you feel resonated with any of these descriptions. Perhaps while listening, you realize that you have lived something similar to the gift of the shadow guardian, the silent curator, or the guardian of the flame. If this is happening, it is a sign that the energy of these spiritual archetypes is active in your life. And when we get to the right time, I will want you to share in the comments not only your sign, but also which of these gifts you believe the most manifest in you. Let's create, together, a map of this protective network that Cayce valued so much, a living current formed by everyone who recognizes and honoring these secrets. If, while you heard every word here, you felt something different, a light shiver up your skin, a memory that came up suddenly, or even the feeling that you already knew it, so don't ignore it. These reactions are not simple coincidences. When spiritual truth finds echo within us, the body responds, the mind awakens, and the soul recognizes. It is as if, for a moment, the veil that separates the visible from the invisible to become thinner, allowing you to realize the strength that has always been present, but perhaps you have not identified so far. Edgar Cayce talked a lot about it, the silent confirmation that comes from within, which does not need external evidence, because it is a knowledge that manifests itself inwards. This moment we are living now is not just another part of a video. It is a point of turning in your spiritual consciousness. Knowing the gifts, challenges, and depth of this protection, you not only understand who you are and who is around you, but also begins to see patterns and signs that would once go unnoticed. It is like learning a new language, the symbolic language of your own soul. And when you start talking about this language, you realize messages in places where you saw it before just chance, a casual encounter that is actually a perfect alignment, an unexpected change that opens doors to something bigger, a delay that avoids a danger that you didn't even know existed. So I want you to allow yourself to do something now, not as a simple gesture, but as a conscious spiritual act. When the right time comes, and this moment is now, write in the comments, "I accept my protection." It's not just a comment, it is a statement. It is a spiritual code that states to the universe that you recognize the strength you accompany you, and is open to it, that it manifests itself even more in your life. Each time someone writes these words, it is as if another point of light was lit on this invisible network that connects all protected souls. And the more light lit, the stronger this current becomes. Imagine dozens, hundreds, perhaps thousands of people around the world, each writing this sentence and activating this energy within themselves. It is as if we are creating a living spiritual map, where each point represents an awake and conscious soul of its role. This is the kind of movement Cayce believed to be able to change not only individual destiny, but also the collective. Because when many people vibrate at the same frequency of protection, healing, and light, this energy begins to expand far beyond the initial circle, touching those who don't even know they are receiving. And if, while listening, you felt you needed to share it with someone, a friend, a family member, someone who may need this message now, do it. Don't wait. Often, we are the channel that takes exactly the word or sign that someone else needs to change their way. This is how this network is, strengthened, from one in one, from heart to heart, until it becomes impossible to ignore the strength it generates. But I want you to understand something very important. Accepting your protection does not mean that you will never face challenges or moments of pain. It means that when they come, you will have spiritual resources to cross them. You will find doors where there were only walls. You will feel and support where there was once loneliness. It is an invisible but real alliance that renews itself every time you recognize it. So take a deep breath, feel what is happening inside, and in your time, write, I accept my protection. And if you want to go further, add your sign, so that we can see how this network is spreading between the different spiritual guardians of the zodiac. I want to look at this comment section and see not only words, but a living record of souls connected by something that transcends time, distance, and common explanations. And when this list begins to grow, you will realize that you are not alone on this journey. We are just starting to show you how stronger this protection is. And now that you have taken this step to recognize your protection and connect with this energy, I want you to know that we are just scratching the surface of what Cayce revealed about the spiritual mysteries that surround each sign. What we share so far is part of a much larger picture, and that's precisely why I can't close our conversation at this point. There are pieces of this spiritual puzzle that need to fit in, so that you completely understand how these forces act in your life. You already know that there are gifts and protections that differentiate certain signs, but there is one of them, just one, that Cayce described as able to completely change the course of a destination in just 24 hours. Think about what this means. A single day, a single movement, a single decision, and your whole way can be redirected, as if an entire page of your book of life is rewritten from time to time. This is not an exaggeration. According to Cayce, this sign carries a rare combination of spiritual power, intuitive capacity, and alignment with universal energies, making it capable of provoking immediate and deep changes. And I want you to be there with me when I reveal that. Not just to know this information, but to understand how it can affect your life, even if you have not been born under this sign. Yes, because his energy can manifest in anyone, depending on the circumstances and level of spiritual connection they develop. I will show you how to identify when this influence is active in you, and how to take advantage of this moment to make adjustments in your path that may take years to happen naturally. Imagine being able to recognize the exact moment when this force begins to act. Imagine being ready to make the right decision, speak the right word, or take the right step, taking advantage of this unique window that can change absolutely everything. This is the difference between living life reactively, hoping that things simply happen, and consciously living, understanding that you have an active participation in your destiny. What's more, I will also reveal which signs precede the manifestation of this power, signs that for most people go unnoticed, but for those who know how to recognize them, they function as a clear warning that the opportunity is coming. This means that you will not only know the sign, but you will also learn to identify when this energy is about to cross your way. So don't disconnect now. This is one of those moments when what comes next can become one of the most valuable information you have ever received about yourself and how the universe communicates with you. I want you to be there to hear, understand, and especially feel. And when you finish watching, I want you to come back here and tell me in the comments. Did you recognize any of the signs? Have you ever lived something that changed everything in less than a day? Let's create a space in the comments so that we can share these stories. Because when you share your experience, it not only inspires, but also serves as confirmation to others that are going through the same thing. Now click here on the screen and come with me to the next part of this journey. It's not just a new video, it's the natural continuation of what we started awakening today. You will see that there is much more behind your story than you think, and that maybe this is exactly the moment your spirit was waiting to hear what comes next. You just lived, along with me, another deep dive into Edgar Cayce's revelations, and I want you to understand that this moment is not just the end of a video, it's the continuation of something that is already happening inside you. The mere fact that it remains here so far shows that there is a real thirst for answers, a need to understand what is behind the events that shape your life. This, by itself, is already a powerful sign. This is how the transformation begins, with the search, with listening, with the opening to receive what is not seen, but who feels in every word and in each silence. And if Cayce were here, he would say none of this was by chance. It was not a random that you found this content, which devoted your time to absorb each revelation, which connected with stories and signs that echoed within you. There is a reason to be listening to exactly that. Exactly now. It's because something bigger is calling you to a next step, and I want this step to be taken with me, because this journey is not to be lived alone. When I tell you to subscribe and activate the bell, it is not just about increasing a number. It is about ensuring that you are present at the exact moment the next message comes. It is about you to be part of a circle of people who, like you, recognize that there are spiritual mysteries being revealed and want to stay connected to them. The next revelation may contain exactly the answer you have been looking for, or the signal that will confirm what you already feel at the bottom of your soul. Remember, each revelation is a piece of a larger puzzle. What you heard today connects directly to what comes next, and losing this connecting wire is like leaving an unfinished map. So don't wait. Subscribe now, activate the bell, and be with me at the next meeting. This sequence we are building has the power to change not only how you see the world, but also how you position yourself in it. What's more, I want you to actively participate in this network. In the comments, in addition to leaving your sign, also write a phrase that feels that you represent what you lived listening to this revelation. It can be, I recognize my mission, I weigh protected, or I feel the call. When everyone starts writing, you will realize that you are not alone, that there is an invisible chain of people around the world, united by the same search, the same energy, and the same purpose. This is the strength of Edgar Cayce's revelations. They don't stop for information, they create movement. And when many people move in the same direction, the transformation is inevitable. So, before you leave, make this choice. Subscribe, activate the bell, and allow the next revelation to find you. Because it will come, and when it comes, I want you to be ready to receive it, to feel, and to act. After all, it may be exactly, she will open the door to the change you have been waiting for so long. If you got here, until the last second of this revelation, it shows me that you are part of that rare group of people who not only hear, but feel the message to the end. So I want to ask you 3 simple but powerful things. First, subscribe now on the channel and activate the bell, so you ensure that you will receive the next revelations of Edgar Cayce just as they air. And believe me, what comes next can play even deeper into your soul. Second, leave your like right now. This is not only to help video reach more people, but also as a gesture of commitment to their own spiritual journey. Third, in the comments, write the phrase, I weigh protected, so I will know that you have come to the end, and together we will create a chain of light in the comments for everyone who also completed this journey. And now, don't stop here. The next video is appearing on the screen on the left side. Click on it and continue with me, because what you will hear below is the missing piece to complete what you discovered today.